We always start off by saying, welcome to Plugged In Chatham-Kent, your business podcast. I'm Andrew, working economic development and communications here. Today we're going to talk about community futures, and with me I have... Who are you?
Hi, I don't even know where I'm looking. Donna Pollock.
Donna, good to meet you.
Nice to
You're
meet
new.
you.
You're new and shiny to the area.
I'm new and shiny. Not so new, a little over 9 months.
Okay, well, that's fair. All right.
Yeah.
So why you came down Chatham-Kent? Where were you originally from?
So I'm originally from Toronto, but I moved here from northwestern Ontario, Dryden, Ontario to be specific. And I moved here at the end of May of 2019. Wow, almost a year.
It's almost a year.
Almost a year.
We should have a party. It's really just a cake. We just want, we're going to have cake.
It's all about the cake.
It's just an excuse to have more cake. That's all it is. Well, I'm glad you came down here.
Thank you.
So,
I'm thrilled and delighted to be here.
You have made some amazing changes over the past year.
I'm working on it, yeah.
You're working. I love it. You're not done yet.
It's never over.
Well, I've been bothering you now for 7 months to do this podcast.
Right.
So thank you for
agreeing.
Thank
you.
And
yes.
allowing me to pull you into this
and I
room.
I almost went under my desk again this morning, but you dragged me back in.
Well, you know, I only gave you 5 months warning,
I know. And checked yesterday afternoon to make sure that I would be here.
Absolutely.
I knew what you were doing.
You just know. You're good. So let's talk about some of the changes you've made since you've been here. What sort of things have you done?
So community futures, maybe it's best to start what community futures is, because what I've discovered is that community futures is the best kept secret ever, and that is true right across Canada. And so community futures as an organization is a non-profit organization. Okay. And it started back in the 1980s by the federal government, who wanted to put these little pods, these little offices, these nonprofit corporations into rural areas with the intention that they would generate small business and entrepreneurs who had a great idea to develop their business, or business people who wanted to expand their business. And the upshot of that would be more jobs. Mm-hmm. So all good stuff. And right across Canada, I think there's 267 across Canada. So this particular nonprofit corporation here in Chatham-Kent, which serves all of Chatham-Kent, was in Blenheim for the longest time. Mm-hmm. And because I'm not from here, I'm not completely familiar with, but I know that they sold the location in Blenheim, I think in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, purchased this location, and so they were housed here. And for many years, I think, over 20 years, there was a particular executive director, and there was 5 staff members at one point. And so and this is always, we were talking about this before we started this, and it's always really difficult to talk about this because unfortunately 2 staff members in 2018 passed away. Yes. And they were well loved, and they had given everything to this organization. And so that was a body blow to the community, to the organization, to the board of directors, to their families, obviously. Yeah. And so that period of time, that transitional period of time, was pretty quiet because, of course, everybody's trying to manage that situation. And so there was a temporary person in place. She did a great job. Mm-hmm. And the business development coordinator, who had been there since 2012 on a part-time basis, everybody just managed to sort of keep their heads above water. Yeah. So enter May 2019, when I come down here, and I've had almost 10 years experience with community futures. And I moved to Chatham-Kent. I bought a house here. We bought a house here long before I got the job, because I'd made up my mind after looking around, and my husband and I, after looking around, that we wanted to live here.
Oh, welcome to Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, we loved it here. And the fact that it's got a long golfing season is
certainly
a deciding factor. So anyway, that's sort of the little bit of a preamble. So the changes, what I've discovered is that community futures is the best kept secret ever, and that is true right across Canada. And so there was a temporary person in place. She did a great job because, of course, everybody's trying to manage that situation. And so that was a body blow to the community, to the organization, to the board of directors, to their families, obviously. And so Some of them have been in the nature of electronic changes. So we're trying to transition a lot of our loan clients from paper checks onto electronic transfer. Some of those changes have been in personnel.
Mm-hmm.
And the first and foremost change probably was when I sat down with the board and we did a complete strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that in July, because without a plan, you can't go forward. And without their direction, we can't proceed.
Absolutely.
So all of these little pods, these small business organizations are managed by a board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
So I can touch on some of the changes as we roll along here.
Yeah, and managed by a local board of directors, just to be clear on that one.
To be clear, they're all representative. There's 12 there's supposed to be 12 in total. We have 11 now. We just got 2 more. Mm-hmm. One resigned and 2 more came on board. And they're all representative of the region, which awesome. Is really, most of them are still employed. In some boards they're retired, but they're from all walks of life, mm-hmm. and they're all either have a business in the community or they live in the community.
Wonderful. One of the big changes I've seen is you changed the name a little bit.
Oh.
Let's talk about that one. Oh, yeah. That little bit of a name change.
Well, things get old and they get stale, and we need to breathe some life back into things.
Absolutely.
And if there's one thing that I do have in my little bag of tricks is enthusiasm. I don't think you would argue with that.
Not at all. Nope.
Because you sit outside my office and hear me guffawing all the time.
We do share a building,
we
so
do
yes.
share a building, and I am loud. One of the first things that we did was rebrand ourselves, mm-hmm. because the organization had, we have to have a standard brand so that we are consistent with the mothership in Ontario. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, we can pretty much do what we want. And so I went to Abstract Marketing, mm-hmm. and they provided us with a new funky logo, and then developed a new website, because mm-hmm. the website, it was getting old, as websites do. Yeah. And we added some new features. We certainly kicked things up a notch. We developed, as part of our strategic plan, a whole social media development, which because I've been tapping into your expertise. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all linked to the website. Mm-hmm. And then with that, we had to have new signs. Yeah. So that was really fun, I have to say, because we own the building, but of course the Economic Development Department are tenants.
Yeah.
And Business Development Bank are mm-hmm. tenants. The Small Business Center are tenants. So all of us are represented on the new signage.
Yeah, and I think it's great. It's nice and clear. You can see it.
Yep.
It's a huge improvement. So out there.
Yeah, I think people go by and they see it illuminated to start with. It's bright out there.
Yes.
And they can clearly see who's here, and I think it lifts up the whole building.
So we were talking about the fact that you're funded by the federal government, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm saying it like I don't know the answer, but yes, federal government.
Yeah.
Which helps you be a nonprofit. So
right.
you're really in this to help business.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you're helping business. Not that I was on your website 5 minutes ago, but let's talk about all the different services you offer. What sort of things do you do to help business?
Right. So in order for us to be funded by the federal government, we have to build a business plan, just like a business does. Mm-hmm. We have to justify, so what are you going to do? And so from the federal government, we get operational funds so that we can run day to day, and we get investment funds that the sole purpose of which is to put money back into the community and back into small businesses. Mm-hmm. Again, that same mandate, that same theme. Economic development, building up small business, creating jobs. So to that end, there used to be a larger community economic development component when I got involved 10 years ago with Community Futures. And then because there has been a freeze on that operational funding, costs increase and the funding doesn't increase. So you have to sort of be creative in how you manage that
Absolutely.
money. And so maybe there's not as much money to leverage into community economic development projects. That doesn't mean you don't participate. It just means you participate in a different way. Maybe, instead of having the funds, you come up with another creative way to participate. Anyway, so that's part of what we should be doing, assisting in strategic planning, working with communities like you, municipalities like you to leverage funds. And, in the past, with Small Business Center and Starter Company Plus, I was a mentor. That's giving back to the community.
Absolutely.
And then the summer program, I mentored someone in this, and so that's giving back. So that's our community economic arm. But for businesses, we really want to be able to provide financing primarily to startups, but not only startups, and to existing businesses who might need financing. And in the old days, and some still adhere to this, if you were unable to get financing at the bank, then that would make you, or you were denied at a regular institution, that would make you eligible to come to us. But we pretty much look at everybody right now. That's not, that's up to the board, and they don't need that anymore here. But let's say you were just starting out, and most banks don't look at you if you don't have 3 years of financials.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where do you go? So one of the things we've been doing is making multiple presentations to the banks and saying, when you get that person in who you think, oh, I'd really like to help them, but I can't, then you think, oh, but I am not going to let you go out the door disappointed. I'm going to suggest that you go to Community Futures. So myself and our 2 part-time business development coordinators would entertain someone who was looking for a startup business and startup funding. So we work with them for a business plan. We take a look at their projections. We say, does this look viable? Does their business concept look viable? Is there enough money being generated to service the debt? Sort of all of those things that the bank might look at, but we look at it with sort of maybe a different eye, and we might take our time to help you develop your business plan. We'll sit down with you and work with you in terms of your cash forecast. Our 2 business development coordinators, Peter Mcguire and Brenda Richardson, are both former managers with Scotiabank, so they are well versed in lending, financing, and I was the business development coordinator for 5 years myself. So we know what we're doing, and we're here to help people. Not just look at the numbers, but to actually listen and develop a relationship with a person. And that relationship might start, and you might not be in a position for financing for 4 or 5 months. But that's okay, because that's what we're here for. So the process to get that financing, and it's up to $250,000, is people come in and meet with Brenda or Peter or myself, work with them, and once the application looks like it would be eligible for financing, and we look at all the same parameters that a bank might, same security that a bank might, then that application is then sent to the board of directors, who meet monthly, and they make the decisions. So the decisions with regard to financing is being made by those same representatives of the community.
And that's why I asked you the question, to make sure that they were local, because it really matters.
It matters hugely. The decision is not being made outside of Chatham-Kent.
Yeah.
It's being made within. So that's a big thing. And, we've got lots of aggressive plans that are built into the business plan. There's lots of workshops and lots of activities here already that everybody can take part in, but we're looking at expanding that opportunity and bringing in workshops on financial literacy and how to build a business plan, how to do financial statement review. And those are things that I don't want to promise because I'm still in the throes of research, but all things to not just assist that business person, but to make them better equipped to run their business and be successful.
And I think that's where the economic development, the small business center partners with you on things.
Right.
So if you're doing business planning, because we are out there every day telling people, you've got to build a plan, you've got to build a business plan. If you've been in business for 20 years and you're thinking of growing, hey, if you've been in 20 years and you just want to keep going, you got to have that plan.
You got to have the plan.
And when it comes to financing, I mean, that it's critical. You have to have it, right?
Well, and it's your Bible. It's what you follow every day. And I think that's one of the key things, Andrew, that I love about this circumstance is the fact that we are all under the same roof. Yeah. Because, I don't want to downplay that in any way, because Business Development Bank we're encouraged by the federal government, since they're funded by the federal government, to work together as a team. And we often do. And when you're able to walk down the hall and talk to somebody, or I'm able to walk down the hall and talk to somebody who's managing Wallaceburg as an economic development officer, that's huge. Yeah. You don't have to pick up the phone. You don't have to make an arrangement. It's very casual. And you'll notice my door is always open.
So is mine.
So is yours. What door you have. But that's networking. That's absolutely natural, informal networking. And camaraderie is critical to, hey, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And I might have somebody that might be able to take advantage of that. And we're all working together with the same purpose. And I think that's...
And it can be quick.
And it's quick.
Right? That's...
And what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And it's an ideal circumstance.
Yeah. One of the things that... I'm going to touch on the business plan thing again, because I don't know if you've encountered this, but we get people who walk in and go, oh, I don't need to write it down. It's all up here. It's in my head. Yeah. Have you ever encountered that? Yeah. Yeah. Well, what does the board say when they go, oh, it's all in my head?
The board will not even look at it at that stage of the game.
I want to make this so clear.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah. Well, and entrepreneurs are a wonderful beast, having been one myself before I did this. They get a great concept. And they're visionary. Most entrepreneurs are visionary. They know what they want to do. They have this great idea. I don't really want to take the time to put it down on paper. So they need someone to remind them that there's all kinds of things to look at. There's marketing, there's competition, there's, how are you going to cost it so that you actually make money? What do you need in order to produce, let's say it's raw material, what do you need to bring in? I always start the conversation by saying to somebody, how much is it going to cost you to turn the key and open the door and start your day? Heating, electric, they're fundamental fixed costs.
That's really good. I'm going to use that.
What is it going to cost you before you even have a customer or a client or anything? What is it going to cost you? And can you afford that? And can you afford to keep going day after day if nobody comes through the door? So, you don't want to dampen anybody's enthusiasm. No. But you also want to bring a semblance of reality, because I always go back to, we want everybody to succeed. We don't want them to fail. And if they do struggle, and that's another thing, there are days when small business owners struggle. We don't stop that relationship once we've given them the money. We encourage them. Okay, I'm struggling. Can you help me? Yes, we can help you. Let us know what's going on. So.
No, that's great. And same with economic development. If anybody's listening to this that's in that hard spot, reach out talk to us, we have that great partnership here.
Yes.
We can look at options. It's not to say we can solve the world's problems,
Right.
but you're not alone.
No, and I think that is key, because so many small business owners might feel, I don't know if embarrassment is the right word, but they might feel reluctant to say, I'm not exactly sure how to do this. Oh, you're supposed to know everything. Well, you're not supposed to know everything. We're not supposed to know everything. Yeah. I don't know anything. I mean, didn't I just Monday come in and tap you to come in and help me with the website? I don't need to know everything. And the small business owner doesn't need to know everything. And if I can't help them, or Peter or Brenda can't help them, then we'll find somebody who can.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're supposed to be all in this together.
Yeah, and that's why I try to do this podcast, to pull in the experts like you, who you say you don't know anything. You know your business. You know what you need to do and how to help people.
Right.
So you do know things. So that's why you're here.
Right.
And why I fought for 7 months to get you here. I'm just going to put that in there again.
Yeah.
No, you're an expert and you're a resource to be relied on. So
yeah.
You've got businesses out there that are looking, even if they're at that exploring stage.
Right.
I have an idea. I think you're open to people who are at that
for sure. And in my previous role, I'll give a perfect example. In my previous role as a lender, I had a gentleman come, this is years ago, probably 8 years ago at least, when I was in Dryden. He came in my office, and he looked downtrodden. He came in like this, and he sat down and he said, I want to buy this business. And I thought, oh, okay. So he explained it to me. We looked at the numbers. Financially, he could do it. Mm-hmm. He could do it. But I was worried about him because he had been unemployed for a long time, but he had been financially okay. And I thought, he can do it financially, but can he do it psychologically? Mm-hmm. So I suggested to him to go and meet with our small business center, which is exactly what you had here. Mm-hmm. And I said, I just want you to get some of the fundamentals, and I want you to get a little confidence in the fact that I'm going to be. So anyway, I said, come back and see me. And she happened to be right down the hall too. So we went together and we discussed it, and we worked together as a team. And then I checked in with them about 3 months later. He's knocking on my door, and he comes in, and his whole demeanor is changed. His shoulders are back. He comes in, he sits down. He said, I think I'm ready now. He's got a business plan. And I went, wow, this is awesome. Well, long story short, we wrote the application. He was successful in getting the financing. He went in, purchased the business, and he blew the doors off the business. Amazing. He was amazing. And he still owns that business to this day. So that's just a little capsule of, we see a light there, mm-hmm. and we want that light to be a burning light.
Yeah. That's fantastic. You know what? I think we should end it there.
Okay.
I mean, what else are we going to say? It's such a good story. Your website. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember what your website address is? If not, CFCK.on.ca. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Or Google Community Futures Chatham. That works really well too. I tried that.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, Community Futures Chatham.
Okay, good.
So
we need
or Chatham-Kent if you want to type the whole thing out. That pops over at #1 search. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad there isn't anybody else that comes up popping up.
That would be interesting if somebody was competing with the same name. I think we'd go down and have a little conversation with them. Don't start names. If somebody's listening, please don't troll us and start.
No, please don't.
But so thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was great. And hopefully, if you're a business out there looking, new business, growing business, looking for funding.
Come and see us.
Come and see her. So amazing. Our website, before I forget, investck.ca. We have lots of events, activities, information. The new community improvement plan's been posted. There's all kinds of things happening in Chatham-Kent, and we're growing like crazy around here. It's pretty amazing. So,
yeah, and we're doing it together.
So thank you, Donna.
Thank you very
much.
Thank you,
and
Andrew.
We'll see you later, Chatham. Have a great day.
Bye.